Hey guys, Indy here with Ultimate 2 Reviews. Well, I live in Central Florida, so of course, we got hit by Hurricane Ian pretty good. Now, I am on the northern side of Orlando, and we didn't get hit as bad as some of the southern parts of Orlando. We did have some flooding, some trees down, and I was out all day today doing storm cleanup, lots of stuff with the chainsaws, and cutting up tree debris, hauling that away for clients. Now, I thought of doing something pretty cool for the hurricane, and I don't know if you saw my previous shorts, but what I did was basically I took the Metabo HPT, this is their 1/2-inch impact, and I just threw it outside at the beginning of the storm. Now, we were originally told that the storm was going to last from like Wednesday around noon to like Friday at 9. Unfortunately, the storm didn't actually last that long. It was pretty much clear by, I'd say, Thursday around 3 p.m. It was a little windy yet, but all the rain was gone. And I decided to just kind of end it there, not leave it out for another day if we didn't need to. There's no rain anyways. All right, so we already got tons of rain happening here. Not a lot of wind just yet, but we're gonna throw this thing out there, and I'm gonna come back on Friday, and we'll see how well it does. Let's hope it does well. You can see how high the pond is here right in front of my house. This thing never gets this high, and it's actually creating a little river that goes down here. And there's actually a really big retention pond there. We got a forest there, and behind that there's a large lake. So I'm not really worried about flooding myself, but wow, this is crazy. This thing is never right at this level here of being flushed with this side. Pretty wild how full this thing is right now. It's now Thursday morning. It's been a really rough night, guys. It's been a ton of wind, ton of rain, and that thing is still sitting there. I'm actually probably going to bring it in later today because it's supposed to stop raining here, probably right around, I'd say, noon or 1. All right, guys, it's about the end of the storm here. It's been clearing up all day now. It's about 11 a.m. on Thursday, and you can tell the storm, I think it's the tail end of the storm now. So probably going to bring the Metabo HPT in. Here's what it looks like after last night. It was quite the night. Tons of wind, tons of rain, and we will see how it does. I'm going to take this thing in. We'll plug it into a battery. But man, my papaya tree is not doing too well over there. Over this fence that I made, this one all custom, pulled up really well. Not a single board came off. Really like how that turned out. But yeah, guys, let's go in and test this thing out. All right, guys, storm's finally clearing up here. Hurricane Ian is leaving. I'm in Central Florida here. Let's pull this thing out of the backyard, slap the battery in, and let's see if it works. Awesome, it still works. Got all the lights are still working on here as well, too. And that is pretty cool. This thing survived over 24 hours outside in the backyard during a hurricane. Pretty cool, Metabo. Like it. So, I was kind of curious to see how well it would do, and it was pretty interesting just, kind of let it just sit out there in the rain and the wind. Luckily, it didn't move off my patio, which was cool. I was kind of worried it might just blow off into the grass or even the neighbor's yard if it got too windy, but, it did just fine. So, I will say, looking over it, there is, no issue with any of the lights. Everything works, all the LEDs work, every button still works fine. I will say one thing about Metabo that I've noticed in the past, and it does sort itself actually out by itself, is under this plastic cover here, is that, some of the moisture will get trapped, and it looks like it's going to stay there, but it's been a couple of days now, and it is all gone, which is pretty cool. So it does come by itself, it'll evaporate. The only thing really with this tool now is it's a little bit dirty still. Just gotta, clean off a little better. Other than that, it works totally fine. But also, Zach's doing good too. We actually both had power out for about 36 hours, and it wasn't fun at all. I actually went to my parents' house and stayed there while we had power out for the second night, which wasn't too fun. We'd stay without power for one night, and it was nice and cool down here in Florida right now, around 66 degrees, but the humidity is like 100% after that rain, so not too fun there. I will say though, guys, I didn't think about doing an entire video on this, but I want to talk about some of the power tool batteries that I used during the hurricane after the power went out. So I got that Hart fan. I don't know if you saw that review I did. but I used basically a 4 amp hour and a 1.5 amp hour battery. Got me through the entire night on low speed with that fan. So that was really nice to have that in the evening for sleeping. That made it really easy. For charging your phones, actually, that's a big thing I've seen a lot mentioned by a few of my clients. Some people on Facebook mentioned that as well too, is charging your phones. If you pick up those little, like, I guess they're called like USB toppers or whatever they're called for your batteries, they're really, actually got one right here that I've been using for my DeWalt batteries, and it just slides right on top of a DeWalt battery. It's got 2 USB plugs in the back, and you can charge your phone up, I would say, maybe 3 to 5 times, depending on the amp hour of your battery. And it's really nice if you have 20 power tool batteries, you can go quite a long time by charging your battery. And they make these for Milwaukee, Makita, DeWalt, pretty much every battery manufacturer has got these on Amazon. Now I will say I use the knockoffs because the actual real ones are like, this is like 65 bucks from DeWalt, but on Amazon they're 10 bucks and they work just fine. So I wouldn't say, don't necessarily need to buy the real ones. They're just basically a USB cord in there, and that's about it. So not a big deal there. But I will say we did use, of course, pretty dark in our house with no electricity, so we did use the regular standalone lights. I've got a bunch of DeWalt and Makita ones. I will say on those, I've done some testing before on those, and you do get about, I think, like 40 hours of life on those per battery. We actually used, I think we're using like 4 at a time. Pretty much stayed on the entire time we had no power to my parents' house, and I didn't have to drain a single bar on any battery on those, which was really cool. So that's really nice to have. Something I will be looking for in the future here, I'll probably do a future video once I find one, is I want to find something that I can use my power tool batteries to power something like a laptop or something. If you guys know of any, let me know in the comments below. I've seen a few that are working on like some DeWalt, Milwaukee, and Makita batteries on Amazon. Some of the reviews can be a little bit mixed, but I'm gonna try to find one, something that I can plug in my laptop, be able to watch some movies while we have no power, and I've got plenty of batteries to burn, so having enough batteries isn't really an issue. But if you got any questions on power outages and tools, I might do a video in the future on that, but I kind of covered pretty much everything I've got for right now. But other than that, the Metabo did a fantastic job. Really impressed by the Metabo. If it can survive a hurricane, that's pretty cool. It wasn't, submerged underwater, but it was, out there with the wind gusts hitting. I think we had like almost 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts here. And then we got 10 inches of rain too. So it was definitely a pretty tough. I think it was, I don't know, over 20, 30 hours I had it outside for. It was quite a while there. But other than that, it did fine, and pretty impressed by it. So, alright guys, take care, and if you're in Florida, hope you guys stay safe, hope you get power back soon as well, and take care guys, leave a comment below.